Okay, I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and then we'll throw it all out to everybody. And one thing I really want to talk about first is the writing. It seems so wonderfully improvisational, but you wrote this script. Talk about working with everybody and the script that you wrote.
Yeah, I wrote the script
And
for
then you guys talk about,
amongst yourselves.
Amongst yourselves, yes. Well,
The script was written for Jenny. We did a short together in 2009 that I co-created with my two very best friends, Anna Bean and Karen Mame, and it starred Jenny Slate. And then when we decided to turn it into a feature, I, told Jenny. She said, "Yes, let's do this." And I wrote it for her, and I wrote Gabe, for Joey. They are stand-up comedians. Joey for Gabe. Yeah. Dyslexia. Sorry. And I sort of discovered both of these amazing comedians at a show, a free comedy show in Brooklyn called Big Terrific, and they would co-host it together. And that's how I saw Jenny for the first time in 2009. And they have such a special chemistry when they're doing comedy together that I just wanted it to be seen. I wanted to put it in a movie. Yeah. And luckily they let me.
So did you work a lot? Was it improvisational? Because a lot of it just seems so, but you obviously had a story that you wanted to tell. But if you guys would talk about this, not just the stand-up stuff, but actually the dialogues amongst yourselves.
Well, I mean, the script is really what you see on the screen. It is what Gillian wrote. I think it's a testament to how good she is, that it seems, I hope, natural and, seamless with the characters, I guess, but we've said this before, but Gillian is confident enough, I think, that she allowed us to be playful and to explore within the scenes. So, sometimes like a little bit of this or that got changed, but that's the script. I mean, it's,
Yeah, it is such a compliment to Gillian that everyone thinks it's improvised because it's
Yeah,
like,
absolutely is.
And when, she emailed me, I remember the script and said, "Do you want to be in this?" I read it, I was just like, holy shit, that's exactly what I sound like. Like, how did she do that? And it just was so dead on. Yeah, the internet. Yeah, and it was a really natural thing. And then, when we were shooting scenes, Gillian, she wasn't like precious about every little word necessarily. So like you can just sort of smooth up a line with a little bit and just make it more natural. And she was just so cool that it happened.
And these guys are, stand-up comedians, and they have years and years of 10 years, I don't know, of...
Well,
I'm only
we're in
21.
our early 20s.
Yeah,
right.
So that's a miscalculation.
So sorry,
I
I'm
started
4.5
in
months
first
You can
grade.
atone on Yom
Really.
Kippur. This is over.
Yeah, it's really messed up what just happened.
We did, some of the stand-up in the film is taken from bits that Gabe and I have done on stage in the past. And then some of it is like on the day that we did the stand-up piece. I can't now remember if they were on the same day, both or all three sets.
We shot it at 5 a.m.
That's why I can't remember.
That's why, yeah. So everyone had to be happy and, act like they were drunk, but they were just
At 5
exhausted.
o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I remember Gillian said, gave me some freedom to improvise, especially the stand-up, and something that I ended up improvising became something that I now use in my Gabe Liedman everyday stand-up routine. And it was I actually opened my Comedy Central special with something that I improvised for Gillian. So it was really cool to have someone like Gillian say, "Just go for it. What the fuck? Just go for it," because that's not actually what stand-up comedians do.
No.
At all. And so it was just that little push, opened a new part of my brain.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I actually, at the time, was when I lived in New York, did stand up probably 4 times a week on average. And then when I moved to Los Angeles, for a number of reasons, developed real stage fright, physical, debilitating stage fright, complete with like too many trips to the bathroom before, and then going on stage and
I have
forgetting
no
how to
idea
talk.
what that feels
I had
like.
never used the bathroom before, so it's interesting. But Gil was like, "Can you just hit this mark, that mark, that mark?" You know, and some of the jokes were really, really written, and some we improvised. But for me, it was a huge step in getting over my stage fright, because I was doing stand-up in the style that I do it, but as another person, so I was really focusing on what it is to express yourself in that way, and it sort of took away all of the, I don't know, whatever was scaring me. Yeah, I got right back into it after we wrapped.
Yeah, we shot about an hour and a half. Yeah, I think you have about an hour, 2-hour set.
Always, yeah, yeah. I always tell Gabe, I'm just gonna do like 12 minutes, and he's like, and then I get the light at like 25.
3 days later.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you said it speaks to Gillian and her script. I think it speaks to all of you and how you can all work together with these things. And also, and one thing I noticed so well, and I love the comedy, but I also, the way in your script also that you have done, Jenny, the movement between comedy and the dramatic. And I was thinking particularly when you're leaving a phone message from Max in the back of a cab, but also the first thing, and I realized it again when I saw the film again today, is when the boyfriend is breaking up with you. And it's just this like moment when it occurs to you, and your face, it brought me to tears for the nanosecond before you move in. So beyond the comedy, how did you all work? And I'm imagining that you're all so good at this that it was just very easy, but this idea of moving between what is the comic and what is not.
Yeah, I think we actually are trying to put the poster together, and we have like a bunch of images of Jenny from the movie, and we call it the many faces of Donna, the many faces of Jenny. She can do it all, and I think we just went into this project with the idea of being natural, being authentic to this character, and Jenny was just so perfect at delivering those true moments in life when you get dumped and your face just sort of, you sometimes want to cover it up with a joke, and I think that's what her character does a lot, which is deflect, but then you can see in her face that it's not what's really going on behind.
I don't know if there is a separation between the comedian and the other part of the person. I think that it's complex, and I think that a lot of people are comedians by trade or compulsively in a social way because they're shy. And I know that my mom is going to disagree with me, but I do feel shy.
Is she here?
Yeah.
All of our parents are here.
Yeah, our parents are here. All of our parents are here. But I think it's a way of covering up or just protecting the parts that you feel might be, a little bit more like breakable. And I work on TV and play really big characters on TV, and they're hardly ever breakable. I mean, they're like such outrageous characters that they could just be thrown against the wall 1,000,000 times and never break. And that's not how I feel in life, and I don't know anyone like that. And so when Gillian gave me this opportunity, it was important to me to not separate the comedian from the woman. And another reason why I don't call myself a female comedian. I call myself a comedian and a human.
It's just
And a woman. The vagina.
Okay, before we go out here, I just want to bring Elizabeth in 1 sec before we get to the audience. Yes, we don't want to leave you alone out there. And so, just talk a bit about, you've been on board from the very beginning and helped as all, I think, with their Kickstarter money, but talk about really working with these guys on a day-to-day basis.
Your mic's down there, Liz.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. I was not a part of the short film that Gillian made with her friends and Jenny in 2009. I saw the short and fell in love with it and fell in love with these two incredible women, and really just wanted to be part of telling this story in this way. And I'm just so grateful for the chance to work with all three of these people. As far as sort of coming together to develop the feature, we were really lucky to have the support of all kinds of different people and organizations that wanted to be part of bringing this story to life. We did do a Kickstarter for finishing funds, which was really exciting to just kind of build community around the project and invite people to be part of it. We had equity financing. We were really lucky to get some grant funding from Tribeca Film Institute, San Francisco Film Society, Rooftop Films, folks like Planned Parenthood.
We're really
were
lucky that we
tremendous
found
thing.
Liz, because before Liz, I was a little bit lost. I was a lost person with a script, and she was instrumental in developing the script with me and, making this our movie. This is our movie, and it's great to be on this stage with all you guys. I'm gonna cry.
you.
I'm
All
not
right.
kidding. I'm crying.
Let's see what anybody out here has to say. Yes, there. So there's a question about stand-up, movie about stand-up. When you're writing this, do you see the film audience merging with the audience in the club?
Definitely. While we shot it, we had some extras there early in the morning, but I wanted it to be very natural, so crew was encouraged to laugh, even at the awkward moments when you don't want to laugh. It's just what you said about stand-up is kind of awkward sometimes when you're watching it in a film. But then in the edit room, we really were precise about when we wanted to add more laughs and when we wanted it to just be Donna alone and having the real audience, you guys, chime in and laugh.
I also want to say just that the way it played in this room in New York actually was really different than other screenings I've been to. That scene where Donna's bombing and it's supposed to be really awkward. I felt like you guys were all cracking up the way I crack up, and it's like a really hilarious scene. But when we played it at other festivals and in other cities, it was like pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Well, because we're the coolest, and
So I think New York got the joke and everyone else didn't. Kind of is what I'm saying.
New York is Holocaust joke target audience.
Yes, exactly. You guys get it.
Thank you, Upper West Side. Perfect.
But I don't feel like it played like that at other festivals.
So writing a movie that's a romantic comedy in which the character actually has the abortion, when you were writing it, were you doing this as a reaction to, as this person says, what romantic comedies are usually about, and bringing, because you actually mentioned, but I think I cut you off, Elizabeth, about Planned Parenthood and in terms of the production. So it's more than just an aside in the film, certainly.
Right. I think that was, great insight, because we did write the script, the short originally, in response to a slew of movies that came out about unplanned pregnancy that always resulted in childbirth. And it was just frustrating. And we were frustrated just like you were. And instead of waiting for that movie to be made, we decided to make it ourselves. And I think that hopefully, I didn't want to show the same film where the woman is struggling with the decision. I've seen that film before, and it's not that didn't happen with this character. It's just we didn't want to show the same story.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's a romantic comedy. Usually if they do have the abortion, it's a very dramatic film, and it all turns into tragedy.
Right.
And it's not always. Let me just add, I like to say, because coming out of Sundance, everybody's calling it the abortion comedy, et cetera, and when I saw the film actually the first time at the Rotterdam Film Festival in the Netherlands, and it was a different audience because they
don't have the same
don't have
legislation
the
that
same
we
issues and
have.
legislation that we have, exactly.
But they were still touched by it. It
Absolutely.
wasn't just about the women's rights being under attack in our country. I think it was such a human story that they eventually laughed. The Dutch internalized their laughter. Yes,
Somebody from
that
A24
beautiful, gorgeous logo in front that said A24. They purchased the film at Sundance, and we are going to have a proper release on June 6th.
June 6th? Yay.
In 30 markets.
Yay!
I don't know what that means. Supermarkets.
Someday you'll be able to see movies in the you can get movies in the supermarket. Absolutely. Can you talk about what the title means to you?
Yeah, Paul Simon was a big record that played in my household growing up. I would remember just like, in the car rides for hours feeling stuck. And that was our soundtrack. And I'd look out the window and sort of picture, like my little eyes were 2 cameras. And I revisited it again in my 20s, and I thought it would be funny to put a Paul Simon song, against a striptease. So that's sort of it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the title of the song works well, I guess, with the structure of the film. But that wasn't intentional.
So, but it really, the origin of using it was actually for the striptease.
It's just a great song that has, it's sad, but it's also upbeat, and those are my favorite types of songs.
And it is good to dance to. I was dancing during the closing credits. What was the most enjoyable part of making the film? And we might put that question to everybody, because maybe you'll have different answers.
Start down with Liz.
I mean, from a producing perspective, the whole creative process from development through distribution has been about collaboration and really building an amazing community of people who made this thing happen. And everyone is so strong and thoughtful and supportive of one another and really brings out the best in each other. I mean, there's just, between the 3 of these people alone, there's an amazing synergy, both on screen and off screen. And I think everyone just brought out the best in each other's work and each other's personalities. And so, even working with A24 now, we're fantastic. I think we've just been really blessed with really smart, caring, interesting, creative, passionate, wonderful people. And that has been from day one of working on the script with Gil through you bopping during the credits today.
I had a blast the entire time. I guess I'll answer with my favorite scene shooting that we shot was the scene. It's us and Gabby, and we're having Thai food, and we're cracking each other up, and she gives her speech, and there was something about sitting around eating Thai food in a romantic comedy, like playing the gay friend eating Thai food in the romantic comedy was like something
You
that
never
I've
see
seen
that.
so, you know what I mean? It's like I'm stepping into this like existing thing, but it felt natural and right, and the jokes were actually making me laugh, and the food was actually going in my mouth, and I just like was like, oh my God, we're literally making this movie. That's when it felt, not when I got on the plane from California to New York to come and make it. It was that when, I think during that scene, that's when it felt the realest, and I think about that scene a lot.
That's nice.
Favorite scenes is a good way to go, but yeah, Jenny, but
There are
every moment.
It is really hard. It is hard to choose, but it's really, there are so many things. Gabe has been my best friend since I was 18 years old, and I've wanted to be a movie actress since I was a little girl and saw Crossing Delancey, and I wanted to be in a movie where I could play a woman who was, a nice-looking lady and sexual and funny, but not like a bikini lady with no personality. And I guess I always, so far, what's been available to me, I haven't ever been able to play a woman with a softer side. So I think when I read the script and I realized that every day I was going to be able to do that, I just liked every moment of it. I don't know. I don't have a good answer, but to be able to do it with Gabe was really special. To be able to do it at all.
I think that's a really good answer.
I do. I can't follow that up.
Yeah, no.
It's just, this was my dream,
Because all of
and
it-
everyone on this stage made it come true.
So, but let me ask you about, it was all shot in.
Sorry. I'm literally about to get my period any second. I never should have worn these genie pants.
Can we get some pads
This
out?
is the
of
alpha
this?
hate
period
my
on
pants.
this
No, I
stage.
hate my pants. It's fine. No.
Ah, Here, what do I have? No, I have this card.
I'm really sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
Wipe your face with that card.
yeah, no, don't wipe your, don't, absolutely, you don't want to do that.
Just let it go.
Yes, it's like, see, we all, well, see, that's enough said. But now I'm gonna go on anyway. I'm gonna ask another question. But I do want to ask you about everybody else you had a good time with. Is all very locally shot in Brooklyn, et cetera.
In Manhattan,
And
Upper
Manhattan,
West Side.
yes, on the Upper West Side, and talk about everyone else's crew you gather. You have these great stand-up comics, but who are also great actors, also. But all the other people, Gabby Hoffman and David Cross, and talk about working like with everybody. Were they all there at the same time? Just talk about the whole sense of the sets.
Sure. So we shot 18 days, which is pretty aggressive, in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and Upper West Side. Jenny was on set every single day. Gabe shot for a couple days, David Cross for a couple days, Polly Draper came in for 2 days, and Richard Kind came in for like a day and a half, and it was wonderful. And it was a dream. David Cross was obviously, I'm a huge fan of comedy. I'm a fan of these guys. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of all comedians, and it was the good ones.
Yeah.
Dane Cook. So it was
Makes you
exciting to be able to just, let them
Yeah,
be
and
brilliant.
in a really short period of time too.
Yes.
That's kind of amazing. Yes, this feels like a career-changing moment for both of you, all of you. What do you think about this? Are your
Cool.
careers changing as we sit here?
Ask my boss. I have a day job. So I'm on my lunch break right now.
I think if anything, it's I take it as a chance for me to reveal that I can do what I hoped I could do. I didn't know if I could do it either. So when we finished the movie, I was like so in love with everything that had happened, and Gillian and Liz and our time that we had together, and I said, well, this has just been enough for me. This was what it is, and it's not a means to an end. It's an experience in my life, and I'll let it be there. But if it is to change anything that is important for me, it's that I have a lot more enthusiasm and less doubt about what I can do, and that's probably the most important change.
The question is, what were the challenges, and were there any going into festivals and getting distribution and having a film that's a romantic comedy in which the character actually has the abortion?
We didn't have many, and I think that says a lot. I think that says that people are really waiting for this story to be told in this way. So far, no challenges.
Yeah, I think it's also it's not Donna's entire life. It's a part of her story. We don't think about this movie as an abortion comedy. We think about it as, an honest comedy where that is a thing that happens and she comes out okay. But there's a lot else that's going on in the film as well. And so, I think it's a very empathetic portrait. I think people are excited about the opportunity to talk about this maybe in a new way, or not talk about it the same way it's never a will she or won't she question in the film. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens as the rest of the world sees the film and it's not all Upper West Side Jews at film festivals.
We will wait and see. I want to ask you one thing, Gillian, about the script. And you have the okay. I'm getting a little high sign, but that's okay. We'll continue with this question, where you have Donna's mother tells her about the illegal abortion that she had, which is a really very wonderful moment, I think. And did you have that in there for the reason of having this wonderful moment with mother of daughter? Or also, or probably both, for the political reasons of sort of like reminding people, especially very young people, that it used to be illegal and that it was much more contemplation had to go into it.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think you nailed it. I think we wanted to tell a story where every female in the movie has had an abortion, including the extras in our eyes. But all the characters, all the close women in Donna's life have had them because that's the statistics. 1 in 3 women have had abortions. And I think we wanted to show what it was like to go through it and then what it was like on the other side with these 2 other totally different stories. One was in high school and one was, pre-Roe v. Wade. So I think it was just to sort of ignite a conversation between friends and mothers and women in general. And men too, I think a lot of men have come up to me actually after filmmaking, after watching the film, and they're really excited to see a nice guy portrayed in a movie.
Yeah, we could have a nice big long discussion about Max, but he's not here, so we won't. We did get the high signs. We're going to go. I have to say, for me, my favorite really in-your-face part about this movie is the first damn joke about the underwear, which is just, I was just so happy to see that kind of stuff on stage, in your face. There we go. It's my favorite part. This was great, and of course we would have it in new directors. It's like a perfect new director's film. That's what we all think. Gillian, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.